What's up YouTube, Dan here from DansTube.TV, and in today's video I have my full review on the Polaroid Cube Plus. Now the Cube Plus is retailing for $149.99. I will have the link in the description below to check this out. If you are thinking about picking one of these up and you want to support the channel, then please use my link in the description below. That will help me out and it will help the channel grow as well. The Cube Plus is a fun lifestyle action camera that now allows you to share with Wi-Fi functionality. So that's the most notable feature with this ramped up version. The original Cube is $99.99. I will have a link in the description below to check that one out as well. The Cube Plus is accompanied by an application which allows you to shoot, stream, save and share all of your files there and then on your device, which is very handy. I've been using this a lot when I'm out and about filming. It allows me to review what I've shot, it allows me to frame things properly, and it also allows me to save pictures and videos and whatnot, and to be able to share them with my friends or with business associates or whatever it may be. This is a very handy feature and it's ready to go straight on your device. With the app, you can remotely control cycle recording, timestamping, video and camera resolutions, frame rate, the time delay, the slow motion video settings. You can also play around with the time-lapse settings, and you have a few other features. The clip length, you can customize that. You've got 5 minutes, 15 minutes, or unlimited, and then you can play around with the camera buzzer volume, and you can pull that up or down. When it comes to video resolutions, you can shoot at 720p, 30 frames or 60 frames per second, 1080p, 30 frames or 60 frames per second, or 1440p at 30 frames per second. The camera quality is decent. You've got 3 megapixels, 6 megapixels, or 8 megapixels. You also have the option to time delay, and that's 3 seconds or 10 seconds if you want to jump into the frame. And then when it comes to slow motion, that shoots at 720p, 120 frames per second. The time lapse is either 1 second or 3 second intervals. I have been directly talking to Polaroid, and they have guaranteed me that we will see some more settings in the future, so hopefully we'll see some more time-lapse settings, maybe 5-second intervals and 7 or 10-second intervals. That would be really handy. And then on top of that, I would love to see some software updates, because there are a few things that I would like to see improved in the future as well, which I will get onto near the end of the video. I love the ability to be able to view photos and videos through the simple navigation layout. It felt like an iPhone-esque style to me. You can view your videos, photos, or all of your files together. Very simple layout to kind of maneuver through, and it's got a nice interface where it tells you how many files you have in there, and you can go through them, you can view them then and there. I've noticed that it works instantaneously. You don't really have any buffering or anything, it just streams straight away, which is a really nice feature. The Cube Plus can use a micro SD of up to 128GB, and one thing that they've improved over the previous model is they've included an 8GB Class 10 micro SD, which is fantastic to have straight out of the box. It's got their Polaroid branding on it. And another thing that they've improved is there's better access to the micro SD and charging port. They have a flap design now, it's not a screw design, and the flap design is a lot easier to access, and personally it saves a lot of time and the design is a lot nicer now, so I really prefer that over the previous version. The only other notable change from the previous version would be the added Wi-Fi button on top, which is a physical button that you press and hold to activate, and it will kind of flash slowly to show you that you're connecting to your device. Really simple process to connect, and you connect to your phone's Wi-Fi, so I guess your phone would be working as the Wi-Fi tether spot. It is very easy to connect to your smartphone, and that was a process that I really enjoyed with the Cube Plus. You can choose between a red, blue or black version, and it has that recognizable Polaroid color scheme on the side there, which really stands out, and I love the design of the camera itself. It also has a 124-degree wide-angle lens. It also has built-in image stabilization, which is a fantastic feature for an action camera. I tested this alongside the GoPro Session, and I noticed that the shots were a lot smoother on the Cube Plus, which is fantastic for a little action camera. It is also weatherproof, but I've tested it in a few scenarios near the water, and I haven't completely submerged it, but the water's got up to about halfway on the lens, and everything works fine now. I'm a little nervous to completely submerge it, seeing seeing as on the box it says it's only weatherproof, but you can definitely throw this through a few wet scenarios. It's not going to get damaged from being in the rain, or it's not going to be damaged sitting near the water. It actually does a really good job in certain wet scenarios. You can also record for up to 107 minutes. I'd probably on average get about an hour and a half, sometimes about an hour depending if I'm using the Wi-Fi connection with my phone. It just depends on what you're doing with the Cube, but if you're using it purely on its own, probably just over an hour and a half, which is decent, and it also has a quick charging time, so that's fantastic. The unit itself is tiny. It's only 35mm by 35mm. It's a cute little square, and it's perfect for hiding away and getting those really interesting shots. I can get it in the most interesting locations, so that's a really cool plus. I feel like the Cube Plus produces a great image. It's colorful, well balanced, and easy on the eye. I feel like there's no editing required. This is perfect for a consumer, and that's what I feel they've targeted the Cube Plus for. The simplicity of the application, the overall image, and everything just seems to be packaged towards a low-level consumer. There's not too much in there for the pro scale. If you compare it to the GoPro Session, for example, you have a lot more freedom when it comes to post-production. Editing on the fly is fantastic with the little Cube Plus though. It does look natural, but you can tell that the Polaroid team have tweaked it to make it look colorful and vibrant, just to make it easy on the eye for most consumers, so they can chuck it up on the internet, share it with their friends, and it's just easy. You don't have to bother editing it or anything. It looks nice in most locations, and it's good in low light as well. Another plus is the easy functionality of the device. So you hold it down to turn it on, and that's the same with the Wi-Fi. You hold the Wi-Fi button to turn it on, and then when you want to take a picture or record, you press the main button once and that will take a picture. You press it twice and it will start filming. So simple, and it seems to work really well. I'm going to move on to the negatives now of certain things I have noticed, but overall the experience just from the unit itself is top notch. I can't knock that experience. It's really easy to play around with and easy to get those shots straight away. This is perfect for an entry level consumer. Now I'm going to move on to my negatives, or things that I would like to see improved or changed in future versions. So the first thing is the magnetic base. This is fantastic, and it is the standout feature of the Polaroid Cube, the original Cube and now the Cube Plus. It's something that really stands out against all of the competitors, but it's also very limiting because not everything is magnetized. You can't just chuck it onto any metal surface. If it's aluminium, it won't work. Certain metals just, won't work at all. It has to be stainless steel or a specific type of metal. So for example, on a vehicle, it works perfectly fine. One thing that I'd like to see in the package is I'd like to see a magnetic connecting point that has a GoPro connection on the bottom. That would just open them up to all the other mounts on the market. And on that point right there, I'm going to move on to the fact that if you want to buy a mount, you have to buy a specific Polaroid Cube mount, which is annoying because you're spending that extra money, and they aren't particularly expensive, but it's annoying that you can't just open yourself up to other mounts. You can jerry-rig something, maybe connect like a metal bearing that has a GoPro connecting point at the bottom, but it should be something that's included in the pack. The magnetic hold though is fantastic. I've driven at about 80 kilometers and the unit has remained stable, so it's a positive and a negative at the same time. I would just like to see a mount included. Another negative would be the dim light on top. It makes it very hard to see this light in harsh lighting. You can't see it when the sun is out at all. It's very hard. You almost have to cover the device with your hand to create a shadow just so you can see if it's flashing or if you're taking a picture, or just to kind of figure out what's going on with it. If it's a static green and it's just ready, you have no idea, and there's nothing worse than missing footage or missing something that you're trying to film. So I'd like to see that improved. For example, if you compare it to the GoPro Session, that red light is very bright and easy to see, so you know 100% when you're filming. So I'd like to see some sort of improvement in that area. But overall, if you're filming inside or if you're filming somewhere where there's some shadow or something that's covering the cube, it's perfectly fine. It's just when you're in that harsh light. I would also like to see some more options, which the Polaroid team have promised us in terms of clip length. I'd like to see more options there because we've got 5 minutes and 15 minutes and then unlimited. I'd like to see a few more options there. I would also like to see some other options when it comes to time lapses, maybe 5 second, 7 second and 10 second intervals. maybe some more options for slow motion, and the timer delay as well. I'd like to see a few more options for that. I've noticed some sort of bug maybe when switching from Wi-Fi to using the Cube Plus through the one button functionality. Basically, it feels like it confuses the device, because when I switch from the Wi-Fi back to just the pure Cube Plus and I turn Wi-Fi off, turn the button off, and turn my device off, my smartphone, for some reason it confuses it and it can't record or take pictures. It makes weird noises, and sometimes it figures itself out, but sometimes I actually have to turn the unit off and turn it back on again, which is kind of annoying. You wouldn't think that would happen, but that can definitely be sorted in software updates or fixes to the application itself. So that's not a major issue, and I've only experienced that a few times, but it does become annoying. Undoubtedly, the most annoying negative would be the audio. It's just terrible. When I compare it with the original Cube, that had decent audio, it was usable, and the audio was actually really good. The microphone is located right on the front, just below the actual lens itself, so you would think that the audio would be fine, but for some reason the Cube Plus just doesn't have decent audio at all. I can't use it, it's too low. Even when I pull it up in post-production, it's just not usable, and it's annoying. You would think that the audio would be at least on par or better than the original version. To their defense, I guess, certain people aren't going to want to use audio. If you're really into your action sports, then you may put music over it, you may just not use the audio at all, but for a lot of consumers out there, and that's what they're targeting this at, consumers, you would think for the low-level budget, entry-level consumer, someone who's just going to pick it up and film their kids, film some random action sports, film whatever it may be, they're going to want to have the audio. If you're just filming your family out and about, you're going to want to be able to hear your kids or your wife or whatever it may be talking to you. You want to be able to hear what people are saying. If you're going down a hill, you want to hear the wind, you want to hear, the excitement in people's voice, and if you can't pick that up in an action camera, then that's a very negative feature for me. I would like to see that addressed, but I don't know whether they can address that with a software update or whether that's just going to be something that they really improve in the next version. But right now, I'm not happy with the audio at all. But overall, I love this little unit. For my personal use, I'm going to be putting music over the footage, or I'm just going to be using the footage itself without any of the audio, so that's fine by me. But for a lot of people, I just wanted to mention that just so you know before you purchase this. But I really do love the product. I love the design of it. It's a great design. It's really punchy. The colors are great. It really stands out when you compare it to other action cameras. It also produces a great image. The quality is fantastic. The color's nice. It's got a natural color, but you can tell it's been edited by the Polaroid team just to stand out, just to allow the consumer to not touch any editing software. It works really nicely straight out of the box, which is something I loved. The application does work. It's very nice. I haven't really experienced any issues so far, besides what I mentioned previously, but overall it seems to be a really well-rounded product. It still has to be one of my favorite lifestyle action cameras in its price range. For $150, that includes the micro SD and a fully functional application to control everything. So you've got everything ready to go, and its form factor is very nice. You can place it on most surfaces and get a nice image. You can attach it to your car, and that's all fine. You can mount it to a few other objects, but then if you want to pay a little bit more money, you can get the waterproof housing. You can get like a helmet mount, for example, or a monkey mount, or a monkey stand I think it's called, and a few other mounts that you can purchase from their website. But overall, as it stands, it is a nice little unit, and the image stabilization just allows you to be able to shoot while you're walking, and it will just hold that image nice and stable. I really can't knock too much. I've given you guys the negatives, given you the positives. Let me know what you think in the comments below though. I've put a lot of time and effort into this. I love the product, but I'd also like to see a few things improved. I think this could be one of the best action cameras, and I'd like to see refinements to the line and to this product here, and I would love to see what happens in the future, guys. So if you want to support the channel and you are looking to get either the Polaroid Cube, the original, or the Cube Plus, I will have both of those links in the description below to check them out from Amazon. There will be 2 Amazon listings there, so please support the channel. It will really help me out. But that's it, guys. I would love to know what you think in the comments below. It means the world to me when you comment. I reply to all of the comments when I go through and check out my videos. And that's it. Make sure to have a fantastic day, and peace out.